Bork for Bulgie, written by Duck Show Studios. The gentlemen of the railway board had been making a lot of changes to the railway. One of the changes was inviting the Flying Scotsman to give tours of the railway. For once, the gentlemen of the railway board did something good, said Gordon. I know, right? Said Nia. One day, the Flying Scotsman was at Knapford Station collecting passengers, when a man came up, and his dog, too. Hello, said the man. My name's Bob, and this is my seeing eye dog, the Baron. We're going to be riding you tomorrow. That sounds lovely, said the Flying Scotsman. Would you like a cab ride? Said the driver. Oh, yes, please, said Bob. But someone else was at the station, too. It was Bulgie. The Flying Scotsman had a famous chef on board, making lots of pork and stuff.
If it weren't for that pork, no one would be riding you,
said the Flying Scotsman. Said Bulgie.
Free the roads! Free the roads from railway tyranny,
he said as he set off. Flying Scotsman ignored him and set on his way. That night it rained a lot. It rained and rained. Bulgie was sitting in his nice dry shed, and he was scheming all night. He thought and thought of a way to take more passengers and convince the Flying Scotsman's passengers to ride him instead. Then he got an idea.
I will do it in the morning,
said Bulgie. Bulgie raced to Knapford Station before the Flying Scotsman.
Hello, hello,
said Bulgie.
Hello, hello. Come ride the bus. We buses can take shortcuts and be faster than the Flying Scotsman.
The passengers weren't that interested because who wouldn't want to ride on the Flying Scotsman? But Bulgie didn't know. He thought that some of his passengers were riding on the Scotsman instead, and he'd convince them. So he set off. The Flying Scotsman puffed into the station, and as arranged, Bob and the Baron were in his cab. Flying Scotsman, coming through, said the Flying Scotsman. He puffed along. Come along, come along. We're coming, said the coaches. Meanwhile, Bulgie was taking a shortcut.
Oh, yes, ha ha ha, I'm faster than the Flying Scotsman. I'm faster than the Flying Scotsman. Ho, ho, ho,
said Bulgie. His shortcut took him over a farmer's field. But then there was trouble. Bulgie didn't think about how much rain had came the night before. He got stuck in the mud.
Oh, no!
said Bulgie as his wheels spun and spun in the slippery mud. Meanwhile, Flying Scotsman was puffing along the line. Bob and the Baron were enjoying their cab ride until the Baron was off duty because Bob was sitting down. He didn't have his vest on, so he was just chilling in the cab until he started to bark, but it sounded more like a Bork.
Bark, 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 bark,
he said as he ran to the window. What is it? Said Bob. What is it? Said the Flying Scotsman's driver. My word, said the Flying Scotsman. It's Bulgie. The Baron had noticed that Bulgie was stuck and started to Bork, to get everyone's attention. Soon they found out what had happened. Bulgie was stuck, so all his passengers boarded the Flying Scotsman instead. Well, Bulgie, if it weren't for the pork on board me, no one would be riding me. But if it weren't for that Bork, no one would know where you are, and your passengers would be stranded, said the Flying Scotsman as he puffed away, chuckling to himself.